is up, internet? Viewers at home. Frame rates look good. Wonderful, wonderful. Stuff's tagged. Wonderful. We're doing good.
Your surname?
No. Alright guys, we got coffee. Taking a break from the Sepulchral Guard. These guys over here. Been working a lot the last 2 to 3 weeks on the non-metallic metal on the arm there. Metal armor. But I'm looking for a change of color schemes, just kind of, you know, keep my brain kind of a little more intrigued. After a while of painting the same color over and over and over again, you kind of start to zone out more. Alrighty. Sorry guys, I feel like I've got notes here. Ugh. A new dog resides here now. I'll need to post pictures up of him, but his name is Niklaus. Niklaus, just a different pronunciation of Nicholas. Klaus for short though, he's a sweetie. So today, he's a super sweetie, let me get a picture up. But today we're going to be working on cleaning up mold lines. So prepping miniatures that, you know, you want to work on and whatnot. And this may or may not be a step that you take. At the very least, I would recommend if you're new to miniature painting, yeah, mold lines suck, to remember to give your miniatures a light scrub in some warm soapy water before you start painting, because otherwise the paint won't adhere very well. Get my gallery up here off camera. This doggo, guys. I don't know why it changed the orientation, but okay. This is my stepdaughter's new dog. He's a sweet boy. His previous owners have passed on, sadly, so he was kind of just here. Reaper Miniatures is also live. Sorry, now I'm silencing my phone, which is my original intent. They do a lot of miscellaneous stuff. But yeah, on top of it, so this is Reaper demilich. So we've got these nice cool skeleton pieces down here and the flames coming out of it. So I was looking up green fire, because I like reference, and a lot of it had this kind of dark blue, even almost a violet color depending on the chemical that's burning, but a nice like dark blue base going into a light green, which normally with fire you go your hottest part's white and then it goes into the smoke and stuff, so it gets darker as it goes up. But with green fire it's the opposite. So that's gonna be fun. So I might try and do the skeletons maybe in some kind of like blue or something, and the flames coming up from that. And then we've got the skulls in there that will have the red eyes, so that should be the only spot with red, so they should stand out. We shall see. But we've also got, so I got this at ReaperCon last year, and we're finally getting it out of the bag. So Galadoria Games had a set. This was one of the last sets they had, and I got it because my husband wanted it really bad too. So it's called Shark Attack Kit, and it's a cute little dock setup. 3D printed. These guys, they're great. By the time I got to them, they were low on their stuff, so definitely going to be ordering some more stuff by Reaper. By the Virtual Con this year. Comes with a nice, it's just simple, super simple little shark there, which is going to be fun. This feels smooth, man. Does some good work. So he just sits in there, because, you know, he's popped out. You can have him really facing any direction. And then it comes with friends. Little fins that you can stick around. So this is a little shark encounter. So, you know, simple. And they also sell like a whole city dock set with an elevation expansion as well. This kit itself is $9 on their webpage. The whole city dock kit is $55. I don't know if he comes with that US dollars, but I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I don't get any funds for recommending them. They're just a great company. They do really wonderful mimics. If you ever are in need of a mimic, they are who I go to generally. But we're gonna clean up those mold lines. Who else did I say I was gonna? So I think we're just gonna start with these guys, and then we'll see if we have time to build any skeletons from the skeleton warrior pack. Because I'm hoping to get to at least priming these guys. I don't know if we'll be getting paint down today, because usually cleaning up mold lines tends to be a little rough on the wrists in general, so we shall see. For bones, for Reaper bones, I use an X-Acto blade for the most part when it involves this kind of stuff. In the past, I've tried using my fine point, my fine grit tools here, but I found it kind of just tore the plastic. So it's easier to just kind of scrape it off, and you can even use the back of the blade. But if it were a metal miniature, I'd be using these. These are wonderful. They're just jewelry files. Jeweler's kit. Oh, has one. So let's just go ahead and dive in here. New dog in the house has been fun though. Gave him a bath yesterday. 'Cause man, we went to Petco and freaking people, man, like there's a pandemic on and people are just walking up without wearing a face mask and just immediately start petting this dog. I'm just like, well, I can't touch that dog anymore, and immediately put him in the bath when we got home. We're just like, I get dogs are great, but man, at least ask, can I pet your dog? That's how that should always go. Although I've been pretty bad about that. If the dog comes up to me, I'm like, well, clearly it's been consensual pets. Let's see, where is actually this mold line? So I threw some green primer on here just right off the bat so y'all could see that easier too, because this camera, this light, man, is bright. But I didn't want y'all like in the dark. Yeah. I'm like, man, so. Well, we've got a flashpoint here, I think. It's like a weird blip of, yeah, this piece here. So there's like a chunk here. Don't ever cut towards yourself, guys. Always be mindful of that. This is a big mindful stream too. Like, I should pay attention to these things. Because my brother, bless his heart, one night he was working on, not miniatures exactly, but he was cleaning up mold lines and stuff on, he did G.I. Joe figures. So kind of like the large scale stuff. He also painted them too, and whatnot. It's really cool. I don't know how I didn't get into mini painting until I was in my mid-20s. I was like surrounded by it at different parts of my life, and I didn't realize what it was. But he was trying to clean up a mold line on a gun piece or something and slipped, and it just went all the way across, man. That was a fun night. He's good though, he didn't lose the thumb or anything, so that's good. But safety first, guys. Always take your time with a sharp blade. And if you find you're having to exert a lot of pressure to get a clean cut, your blade is dull. And you should probably change it out, because that starts getting a little more dangerous. Hey Droxer, what's up? Not a whole lot, man. Yeah, God, I'm remembering there's a delay. Yeah. He's good though. Again, he did not. He just needed some stitches. He missed the artery, thank goodness. Super, super glad he's okay. Alright, so yeah, we're just... Luckily this guy's mold lines are pretty straightforward. They're just along this edge here. So I mean, it's up to you, the painter, to decide like how much you really want to deal with that. It's not even sticking to that, so we're just gonna take them off. I'll try to last. So like where it's getting the middle and stuff, like I'm not too worried about that. I'm trying to use just the edge of the blade there, because it does go up and over, which luckily it does not go across his skull. But you can also use the back of the blade. And because this is a pretty soft material, the bones material, so I haven't had problems using that technique in the past. There are various forms of bones, though. Sometimes they changed it and it was kind of a gray. It was a little bit harder of a plastic, but it was still pretty flexible. Still tended to warp. But now bone's black. That stuff's pretty great. But the mold doesn't always come out great. So if you get a bones black and it seems a little on the defective side, always let Reaper know. Do I prefer those? These are Reaper miniatures, so I play what I can, really, at this point. I want to play Pugmire real bad. That may need to be a game I talk with Quack about. Quacko. Mouse Guard is another one I've played a little bit of as a one-shot. And then I've played some 5e D&D. I've played 4e D&D a while back. And then my husband's game, which is its own system that he's created, called the Cycle, which is a 3d8 system, which makes a wonderful bell curve. Chippies from Reaper Bones, yeah. But this guy, I've just had, I don't know, it was one of those figures I saw in the store. It's like $3. I was like, this actually looks pretty cool, so why not? Because it's got the bones, and I don't know. I was listening to Critical Role at the time. Well, I'm always listening to Critical Role, really. But it was I looked at it and I remembered the demilich bit in campaign 1, so always just kind of wanting it around. Haven't had a use for it yet, so I'm hoping to make it look all kind of necromancy with this kind of like blue-green glow thing, and we'll see if it can be used in my husband's game or not as like a placeholder for some kind of spirit. But for now, I'm just gonna paint it up kind of a little bit like the 5e book. Sometimes I'll pull out the monster manual. It's on the shelf behind me, behind the curtain. And I'll paint stuff up like the book if I can, because that's just fun to do. It's just fun to practice. Alright, I'm gonna use the dull side of the blade and see how this goes. He's one that I've been wanting to try to do like more vibrant kind of colors maybe. I still might end up giving him a black primer just because it's my favorite primer. It's my go-to. No, I think I will use the edge of the blade here. So I'm just trying to be really careful. This is a pretty sharp blade, so I'm not adding a whole lot of pressure, so if I do slip, it's not gonna slice me open. You can always flip it over. Trying to go a little bit at a time because I have a bad habit of taking off more than I want. So I'm like, oops. So I'm just gonna try to find, and also if you're working like with the stray white miniatures, definitely put some kind of wash. I used, here it is. This is technically a primer. It's a Style and Res water-based acrylic polyurethane. Easy application surface. This is meant for airbrush, but I don't have an airbrush. But it's great for brush on too, so if you don't have one and you have somehow come to have these bottles, if you've been to a con, you tend to get samples and they tend to throw samples at people. So they're like, just take it. So I've got a green, I've got this kind of terracotta red brown, and this metal tone. So this is still a primer, but it's a metal primer, so theoretically you could use that to kind of cheat some metal without having to worry about trying to get all the pigments you need, because you can use that as a base and then paint over it theoretically. So that's something to try in the future. I don't know that I'm going to use it on this guy. We might use it on his sword here. Dredge. We've got our clan rat here. He's due for a little scrub, but we're gonna try and prime him up and see what he's gonna look like with that stub once it's painted. Or primed so it's a little more even throughout, so I can see if I need to redo his arm or not. Because he doesn't have one, but those arms had all weapons, so I had to cut off his arm. Cut his arm off. Because that's the NPC. He lost his arm during an interrogation. I'm hoping eventually he'll get like a bionic arm, and that'd be pretty cool. This crazy rat with a robot arm. But I have not played a Warhammer game. My brain jumping back to the list of games I play. Lately it's been a lot more video games, because that's a lot more instant gratification, because it's hard to get gaming groups together, even online. Who knew? At least ones with, we're trying to get our friends to join in, but they all want to meet in person too, but then everyone's gone quiet again, so we're like, okay, do y'all really want a game, or what's going on? I know what they do, it's just everyone's processing in their own way. This poor little flame here is just gonna be the most awkward flame. Poor guy. If you hear any disembodied voices, it's my husband and his daughter talking in the other room. They're hanging out. I don't think I can't hear him on the microphone, so I don't know if y'all can actually hear him either. So I've got the monitor. Music sounds nice though. This is Autumn Orange for the moment. We're gonna listen to them. I definitely listen to this album a lot. Just those chill beats. Something about it just helps kind of relax and focus. Makes this process not seem so bad.
You had said that you did your own dental work at one point.
And again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. That's entirely up to you. It's just a personal preference, because every miniature I try this on, I get a little bit better at cleaning it up, so.
Decided to take away the target that was most easily available.
It's just one of those things that I want to try and just keep improving at, and because I don't know if I'm going to end up entering him into a contest or not right now. But, it's just getting the practice in.
I feel like
Just want to try something different. This guy, man. It's a little awkward. It's definitely easier to get him on this side.
not necessarily.
So you can see these crazy mold lines, those oddly straight lines. Chibi Reaper Bones! I love I've got Mrs. Bones somewhere. She's so cute, man! Those freckles! Oh! And the eyes look wonderful. Wow. Good job. Man, the flesh tone is just on point. And that hair. She's so... I love this face she's making, too. That's great. She is done with your BS. Those freckles are wonderful. Where's my daring heart? Keep forgetting. I've been trying to like ease off of social media, but Instagram I need to remember to keep on. Freaking Henry Cavill made cake, guys. Alright, I'm getting off Instagram now because I'm streaming this. Wow. Until I painted one. Yeah, they're really great for eye practice too, because you get you can oversimplify it and stuff. The mouselings, the latest mouselings they've had come out are those chibi size too. They've changed the size they come in, which I'm a little sad about, because I like how tiny the other ones are. Because I feel like they're really great for beginner pieces, because they're just little mice people. But you know. But I also kind of wish they made, like, I don't know how to describe it other than like taller rat people that look a little more like rats than mice. So instead of like, I don't know, putting boobs on a mouse, that the female figures I've never been. I'm like, But that's just my personal on the Reaper. I think there are, which I will be getting in on. Let me double check that. Big Bones 5, yeah. Okay. Let's see, checking there. I am definitely in on the corset and the pirate ship. Saving up for the other stuff. There's a bunch of kobolds, there's some dire wolves. The kids with the pet companions I'm looking forward to. We got some more undead coming our way. I know there's mice in here somewhere. And there's paint line too. There's going to be new colors. There's going to be undead horse riders, dire cabbage. Yep, dire cabbage. I know they're here somewhere, yo. Sorry guys, we're in... Yeah, there's like a $10 mouseling option. You get an archer and some fighters, some rogues, a wizard. The Dusk Warden mouse comes out again. And it looks like they still have breasts for the females, but they're significantly smaller. They look way more proportional. So that will be pretty nice. Actually, and that war mammoth is gonna be so cool. So, yeah, the at least the pictures they have of them right now, the sculpts look pretty great. So yeah, there's definitely gonna be some mice. $10 option, I can easily get on that. So I have the corset, mice, and the pirate ship, and then I'm gonna be adding dragons. Dragons, all those dragons, guys. I'm super stoked. And the dire cabbage, so I can have my cabbages campaign. Because I like playing meta games. Yeah, so these little rivets and these bumps and folds, they can be very annoying. So I'm trying to just pick in there. It's a little awkward. Because it moves and I'm like, no, I want you to cut off. There you go, you'll see it disappearing because I'm cutting away at it. There we go, finally got it off. Good afternoon, Solar Wind. I think I didn't get it, yeah. I still haven't actually updated like my payment information and stuff yet because I'm still saving for it. And we've got a plumber coming tomorrow, so that's gonna determine a little bit of how much I can set aside. But I will put $10 in towards mice. Some dragons. And I want to get the Yomatai, the Japanese little monster chibi figures. Because one of them is the bard, and I'm like, yes. It's got a little instrument there, and I'm like, I've got plans for that. I've got a whole, like, I want to slowly build a Monster Mash diorama where it's a monster party. So there needs to be a band playing, yeah, and that one was just like, I need those. I hope they come out a little bit sooner than sometimes they'll release molds and different material early, but not always.
I would like that very much. He was very good to me, but a lot of people in my life haven't been.
Okay, so just checking in on the mold lines in this middle here. So I know there's one in there somewhere, but it's such an awkward space to get at. You just gotta kind of do what you gotta do. So I'm just... Again, the sharper the blade, the easier this might be to just using the tip of the blade and cutting in. Woohoo! Ooh, and then I feel a little pinch there, and that's not good. So always remember when you're doing this kind of work and you're really having to hold a tiny miniature like that, always stretch your hand often. Give it even a little. Trying to talk myself out of more bone spot. Yeah. So I'm like, no. Cats. Oh, good. The cats are starting to wander the house more. That's good. Because this dog gets tall. Yesterday some of the cats were hiding out. Today they're more adventurous and they're popping out. This doggo is such a sweetie. New dog in the house. Stepdaughter had been wanting one for a while though, and we had survived Toby, so I was just like, we can clearly handle that one dog, and she's really big on the training and stuff too, so taking proper care. She's always been super responsible, so she's had to take care of dogs before too. It's not new. Dogs, you can go adopt a pet. The adult thing is save. We're finally starting to build a savings account. Woohoo! We're getting there. Now the movie theaters are trying to figure out how to open back up because they don't know. Let's see here, checking in. So this line, it goes like right along here. Scratching your back. This is a song that gets stuck in my head a lot. A little bit of a line in there. I'm just gonna take some of that. Just keep going over it, and I mean, even going over with this meticulous of an eye, sometimes you miss mold lines, and it happens. I've got part of the mold line that's going through all these bones here, but I'm just gonna leave it alone. So, maybe not right in there. So there's, let's see if there's a line right here. Yeah, you can like just barely see it, of course, because why would my camera let you see anything? So I'm just taking the tip of the blade and just very carefully going along that edge. And then I'm going to use the back of the blade to kind of scrape along that part a little bit. I feel like I still didn't get it very well, but sometimes these mold lines can go pretty deep, and that can suck sometimes. That's when you'd want to kind of maybe look into filling it with some type of, there's something you can do, some kind of varnish or something to fill in gaps, and then you can sand them down. Okay. We technically, darn, there's a mold line across the skull. Right there. Whoosh. Favorite figure in my collection. Oh. Of course, none of them are out. I have so many. There are so many. Let's see. I have so many unfinished ones too, man. Orally has definitely been a fun one from Critical Role's set, and the Bones Black Owlbear from Reaper Miniatures with the tiny little hedgehog. Hang on a second. Let me grab those. These guys. And Kiri, of course. Got a display cabinet over here. Man in white, I need blue. And we've got some. This cultist is definitely my favorite. I can narrow it down. Pretty much everything I do, though, I'm like, I'm keeping that. But my top 3 just kind of like pull because for vibrancy and stuff. So this is Orly. Let me give y'all a brighter show here. Give me a second. Wait, no, it's this I want to bring up. Just that white balance. There you go, apply. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Orly there. He's a little dusty, but he was super fun. So he's Critical Role Steamforged, although that's covered up because this makes him magnetized on the base, so I can pop him on this little miniature carrier I have. But he was fun to paint. He came in some weird pieces too, so he was a little tricky at first, but I absolutely love how he came out. And if I ever get another turtle figure, I'm gonna do like a white albino turtle, because that would just be cool. And then we've got one of my favorite cultists. Why does it feel like the saturation is so low though? Sorry guys, hang on, I'm still... Sometimes my properties on these cameras, for some reason, do not stick around very well, and I'm like... feeling like this stuff's a little grayed out. Okay, hang on a sec, we're gonna... contrast this
I don't want to be focused on this. I want to be focused on
still seems like there's so much more purple going on here. What's up with my saturation? Let's see. There's some skin tone. There we go. Now we're looking a little more like the real world. Push that down. Push that down. So y'all can see him better. So, yeah, a little orange here. This is my cultist that I feel like he's questioning things. He's like, uno momento. He's another non-metallic metal kind of attempt with this kind of bronzish or this kind of aged gold kind of look. This was the original color scheme for Cult of the Necromancer. But now his colors are going to be different. So I do have a new set of metal. These guys are bones, so these are white. So this is the same material as this guy, and he looks pretty good. Yeah, he was a pale skin tone attempt too, coming from like a blue, because he's supposed to be from like an underground society. So his skin tone's based a little bit off of from the Time Machine. That movie from so long ago, and they had like the underworld kind of people or whatever. Although I guess they had more of like a purple undertone, but he's fun to paint. And then the owlbear, of course, which is painted up to look like a moonkin from World of Warcraft. Boomkin and friend. And friend, because that's the smallest miniature I've ever painted, is a tiny little hedgehog, and that's in a Reaper Familiar pack. So you can search for that, and you get a bunch of little doodads, and that one was a fun one. So, you know, protect and friend. This one was super fun to paint. This was their first Bones Black like thing that they came out with in January of last year. So, see, I signed it underneath. This was so much fun to paint. Covering chat, sorry guys. Morlocks. Time machine. Yeah, the Morlocks. That's who it was. Yep. Beast. What? Beast, where are you? I don't see you anywhere, man. Silly. So far, those are my top 3 that I grab at the moment. But I have like a little display case that's just full of miniatures that I'm super happy that I have and I've tried. And I need to finish. There's also sections where it's like, I could work on those. One of these days I'll have like I'll close my eyes and pick a miniature. No, I don't think I need to clean that up anymore. Okay. That's right, there's one on the skull, and then we've got this bit down here too, which, can I see that okay? Yeah, I can see that okay. I don't have to super darken it. Orly is my favorite. Yeah, he's a freaking wonderful character. Just listening to the music. Kiri's fun to paint too, but she's got some thin little ankles. Still waiting for a package for. Yeah, still not here yet. FedEx, man. They say they deliver stuff and then they don't, and that's frustrating. Just like the sea. Told her to wait 24 hours because they've delivered stuff here before and claimed they delivered it and then delivered it the next day. And I'm like, She should probably go hold the customer service now and be like, hey, what is going on, yo? Yeah, I didn't open his skull. That's good. Okay. I think he's good for now. Alright, demilich, mold lines cleaned. Let's move on to our shark friends, shall we? And these guys, I'm gonna try this. So it's just like it's normal like nail care. A 4-way buffer. And we're just gonna slide that off. And blue, pink, white, gray. Blue, pink, white, gray. So I discovered these work really well on bones too if they're not awkward shapes like that. Hey, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow, Buzz Mowgli. Welcome to the stream. So I've learned, depending on the material, that it could be good to just kind of buff it out. So there's an edge, so just come on over. And then it's pink. The full buff, guys. And then it's the white. And then it's a final gray there. And look at that, you got a nice smooth thin there. I'll just go around, man. I just kind of keep going around and round and round. Come in too and help give it some shape here. Get your little shark, buddy. So that's cutting C, and then you accidentally cut too deep into it, and then just keep going, man. Just keep going. So I'm just gonna smooth that down. And that won't be too bad. Let's get it to go into the water. I wish I had some resin and stuff to do a resin pour. I've never done that before. That would take some planning. That is not today. Just hold it like that. I'm trying to hold it actually pretty gently. Because I don't want to get too tired with those hands here. And then do the pink side. And then do the white side. And then the gray side. Buff it out. There you go. Rough, but coming along. Ooh, sorry guys, I got a little squeaky. Alright, one fin down. Boop. Let's go on to this big guy here. Watching coffee. We're moving on to this piece. Ooh. You could also use this as part of like the wood design too if you wanted to try and get creative. So like leaving some of that in there, you could. Such a great material. Because even that's the back of the blade and it's cutting it, taking it right off too, so. That section, and then we've got a little bit of some flash there, which is just like a thin piece of the mold that's kind of between stuff. So we're gonna try and just see if we can just cut into it, and then boom, and now it's gone. This side, we're gonna start in that corner too. There. Oops. try bringing in the back of the blade just to see, like... Oops. Go this way, though. So that seems to be an easier direction to get to the mold line. Maybe not. I think this is one of those instances where it's kind of like gone a little bit deeper than you think. Yeah, it's like a nice chunk there, so that happens. Since this is just for funsies, I'm just gonna cut up, get what I can, and just deal with that. Cut into it a little bit. Let's see. Huh. Air canister. Oh, we even got some pieces right there.
I think you know what I mean, but in case this thing gets out of there, then I count on you to right the ship.
Okay, yeah, we'll just live with that.
So I said I'll do my best.
Distant sea and dark tone. Let's see. Oops. Now we're down to the other side, and we're just...
Well, with your bad decisions.
So how's everyone been doing lately? Weather's been really nice out. It's getting warmer, definitely. Spring is only a short time here in Texas before it becomes summer. Overall, it's been pretty nice at twilight. Haven't had to deal with any mosquitoes yet, so just kind of waiting for that to kick in full force. And this side too is the same kind of sharp, kind of cuts in there. Which definitely makes it a bit hard to get to. Finding any nice Missouri, that's good. park near our neighborhood is
Your mom's very proud of you. That
only open for walking. They've got the playground all taped off. So those kids are just waiting to get back on those swings. Trying to use the back of the blade for this, but it's just actually an awkward spot. You wouldn't think it would be, but there's the, yeah. Exactly. Hey, yo, so funny. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a wonderful day or evening, depending on where you are in the world. We're just, you know, scraping lines. Trying to get this chunk out of that. There we go. Some of these lines, like, already kind of smooth themselves out, which is wonderful. I mumble. What's up, everybody?
So now we're going to find the place where your shipwrecked. Yeah.
think so.
Did you get to ask them about Mandarin though?
And the middle,
Find him, you'll stop
the
talking
center mold line.
We'll see.
Depending on if you watch Critical Role, there may or may not be spoilers in this music, as this is from bits of Campaign 2 at various points in time for its story at the moment. Sorry if that hurts anyone's ears. I'm trying to keep that to a minimum. Yeah, big old Critical Role nerd lives here. That would be me. Oh, just waiting for episode 100, man. Yeah, sorry guys, and then I get quiet because I'm just like do 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 do. Part about mini painting you didn't know you needed to do, but you don't necessarily need to do. Even these center points, like.
Statue or reflection or something.
And cut from the other side, just to kind of do it down. Those unnaturally straight lines. But we're gonna have to live with what's on the side here, so we'll figure something out with that. Let me try. I'm gonna see if any of these, so this is like jewelry files, so they're just really small, various states. We're gonna use this one. So it just comes to a little point. It's a little cylinder piece. And it's great for hair and kind of getting in between stuff, so you don't want to lose that dip, but you want to get that mold line in those tight spots. Then this is the tool for you. You just pop in and just give it a little scrape there and follow those follow the wood grain lines there. Get in between there too. Because this can get into such nice tight little spaces. Right in there. And just give it like a little twist every once in a while too. Someone could come in from back here. Oh, there's a moth in here somewhere. There's something. Something's fluttering around here. Hopefully it's not a mosquito.
Wasn't normally his thing, so it was strange. We were down there, I saw him. When I confronted him, he threw a dagger into my chest. Yeah, well, he turned on me real fast. He seemed to know that what he was doing wasn't
Again, it's just kind of up to you how much you want to be stubborn with this stuff.
obviously knew what was coming next.
So at some point I'm going to try and just make this whole cross section kind of try to look a little more organic. Hopefully, and just kind of help take away from these lines. Pop that back in there. Now I'm going to get one that there's one side that's flat and one side with a curve there, and we're just going to kind of mess around with that too. So this one can be good sometimes for trying to get into these awkward places as well.
Sabian was, someone I grew up with, who was also brought by Van and all kind of shit.
Yeah.
I've known him for
Sometimes you're just gonna get
always been
stuff with mold lines like that.
only in the
Let's go to quick. Well, this side's a little less, but this side's still pretty much the same.
Just want to
Try out one more thing here.
see, I had a talk with my god. That friend of yours is still out there.
Slowly working away at it. Wow. Since again, there's some type of material, and if anyone knows it, please feel free to say. But there's something you can get that's that, or even with liquid green stuff or something, to fill in and smooth out that line, so building up underneath it and then sanding it down so it's a little more flat. But we're just gonna live with that and just know that there's mold lines there. Maybe we can try and like make that the edge of like a sign or something, but it's a dock, so why would there be? Okay, dock piece.
Yeah, that old friend of yours.
And this guy's been cleaned up,
Yeah,
right? No,
How do you know that?
that was this guy. Okay, this piece, that's right. My little, I'll have like to do in the pile. Let's see We can also use these guys. Oops, backwards.
And you asked him for me.
Buff it out.
Making amends. Whatever that means.
Get you a nice smooth edge there. But this side, actually, this is where. So again, we've got this nice little curve here. And look at that. Just give it a nice little curve there, and then that helps you maintain that curve. And you got the straight edge to bring it around that too.
It's very particular flavor of
So yeah, lots of different ways you can clean up mold lines, depending, and it just depends on the material you have and what you're working with and stuff. So. I'll get a little buff.
back course. I think I've only got 3 more cups. Hold on.
Dead people tea. See, now I've cut away some of that, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. Just makes that base a little more unique. And I think we'll actually be good with that, alright? Boop.
Mr. Clay and, no, I'm fine. 1 second.
Cannot wait for the rest of Mr. Clay's album to drop, yo. Caduceus Clay. I'm excited. This is Dead People Tea is the name of the song. For those that are interested. And then we might be going into some Sad Wizard vibes in a little bit. We've got about another hour or so stream time here.
That sounds great.
So I might get to prime stuff in a minute. We'll just see how long this takes. So far in about an hour of work, we've cleaned up the mold lines on 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, mostly cleaned up 4 pieces, working on piece 5 out of 6. So that's not too bad. I mean, it helps that some of these are just pretty simple, but mold line cleanup, the more you do it, the faster you kind of get over time. So, I mean, it can be as little as, like, depending on the model, as little as 20 minutes of just getting those lines off. And it's just, again, it's personal preference, because some people don't care if there's a mold line there, but I do. Because I feel like it pulls me out of the miniature when I'm like, oh, there's a mold line. And it just kind of, I don't want to notice the mold line. I want to notice the awesome paint job that everyone does. So, you know. But you do you, guys. You don't want to clean up mold lines? Then don't. That's fine. Because this is pretty tedious. Alright, we got some swimming sharks, yeah. Boop. 3 of those, and Bruce here, Mr. Bruce. Because of course these guys are gonna get painted up like great whites. Or at least this guy is. So let's just give his edges a little love.
Clay, we come to you with a great tragedy. We recently lost one of our friends. And
I'm just gonna clean up these edges. He's already been in the ground.
But we've come to avenge him, and we were hoping to find some help.
Can't wait to hear what the rest of the album's gonna be.
What's your name? My name is Caleb.
Get a little bit of a mold line because it technically goes up the body. It's a really subtle mold line though, so these guys did a pretty good job. It's a really good print.
I'm always curious.
That's actually all we needed to clean up off of him. That's amazing. I mean, you can see where, I don't know if you can. No, there's like the subtle print lines, so it started like there and it built up like around. It's super cool. Some neat shark. Let's give him a quick little. Just a gentle little. Just a little buff. Buff your sharks, guys. Buff your sharks. Alrighty. Wonderful. So you've cleaned up your mold lines. What's next? Next is taking these guys to the sink and giving them a scrub in somewhat warm, soapy water, just to make sure all the mold release agent is off. Otherwise, they get hydrophobic. You can see spots here where there's no paint there. That's where it didn't adhere. It would immediately like beat it off of it. So that's a sign that you've got stuff on your mini that you can't necessarily see. But a quick little scrub will help get that right off. I just use a nail brush or just whatever, old toothbrush, something that's nice on the minis. And we'll get them nice and cleaned off. So I'm gonna step away from the computer for a minute and give these guys a wash and also take a break for a bathroom. So if you're like me and you've been sitting here for about an hour or so, get up, stretch, use the restroom, get some water or coffee or whatever your caffeine of choice is, tea, and just kind of remember to give yourself little breaks. Because the human body is not meant to sit in one position for very long, so be upright. Bipedal for a reason. And I'll be right back, guys, so just hang out or not. If you want to go do something else, I'm not going to stop you. BRB.
You and I meeting and teaming up has been a good thing.
Oh, yes, very good. I know everyone else makes fun of your smell, but I don't smell nothing.
That's what I like about you. You see, the sun is coming up, but you can still see one or two up there. You see that one?
The stars?
That's a planet, that one. That's another place.
No, we're on the planet.
It is hard to believe, but I was able to do I danced the waltz and the tarantelle. It's been many years.
Well, you should show me sometime because I want to see it.
I'm very much out of practice, and
You do it when nobody's watching, okay?
I can see you as a waltzer. That makes sense.
it does a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm really good at the waltz. Yeah, they taught me the same time I learned piano.
You are always the better dancer than me, Astrid. You are always so good.
I'm sure Astrid loves you very much.
I knew it had to be done. In the middle of the night, placed it against the door to the home, and I set it on fire.
Alright. And we're back. What is up? Okay, so I have washed my minis. They're in the paper towel right now. Normally I would wipe this up, but I'm just gonna keep my towel down here. I've got my water now for future priming needs. And we'll actually set that off to the side there. Okay, now we're just gonna kind of dry everybody off. Putting them underneath this lovely warm light lamp will help. So, you know. When in doubt, you can either use like a heat gun if you're feeling brave. Just be careful about leaving heat on the miniature even 1 second too long will result in it melting, because heat guns can get pretty warm. But they're wonderful for drying paint if you're very impatient like I am. Alright, so the dock is definitely going to get painted a little bit last because it's got some crevices in there.
What are you hoping to find?
Bruce, Mr. Bruce here. Fish are friends.
Anybody
Love this little figure here. Sometimes you gotta kind of shake them out. Do, 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 do. I'll just keep it down for right now. And another fun way to help stuff dry faster is more air can. So it helps get the water droplets out of the crevices. Apologies for freak anyone's cats out. That's better. And I mean, if a little water is there, it's okay. All this paint is water soluble and stuff. It's just gonna thin it on the mini, and that's fine. You can just come in with another coat later. Sorry, guys. There we go. Alright, and we've got Mr. Dredge here. We're gonna start with Dredge. So I'm gonna try to smush this around a little bit just to kind of wake it up. This is blue tack. Over time, it might lose its stickiness, but it'll be fine. We got a whole other box of them. I find if you don't necessarily have a base for miniature and you are limited on bases, then you can just get blue tack and pop them down. So, because that means sometimes his little feet won't be available, so. But I don't have a base idea for him yet, so.
No one wants that power.
But now we're gonna get our primer. So we have, that's noir black wash. You can also do washes and stuff. We're doing a gray primer with a black primer. Black primer and gray primer. So I don't have, well, I mean, I have an air can of white primer somewhere around here, but I feel like it's near the end of its life. But you can, normally it's done with zenithal highlight, but I end up just doing a black primer and then dry brushing a light source if there is one on the miniature. So that helps a little bit if you're new to the zenithal highlight world. Give me a second though while I get my primer dish out, because it's not my wet palette and I want to, it's down here. Got a table that like opens on a hinge on one part, but I've got a bunch of stuff on it too, so life of a painter. Alright, so this is what I use for my primer and gloss and stuff. It's just my technical paint where I don't want to get it mixed with my with the rest of the paints, because this pigment has some texture to it. Soap paint will attach to it, so the pigment will hold on. That's the beauty of a primer. But it's got enough texture that it will destroy your brushes over time, so have a designated primer brush, and I tend to not put it on my wet palette. It's pretty well right here on its own. So we're just gonna get a nice big old puddle there. And this is Reaper's 09214 brush on black primer. But it can also be, I don't know if watered down is the correct term because I don't use an airbrush, but it is usable for an airbrush as well. So if you like the coverage, you like what it's doing, yeah, get yourself some Reaper primer. And since we got a paper towel right here, so this is gonna be fine. Alright, let's see what Dredge is gonna look like, guys. And you just kinda... I'm gonna paint one side of him, because I'm using my finger to hold him in place here, because he's got little tiny feet. Hold him down there. Because sometimes you gotta kind of stab at him to get the primer in these nooks and crannies, so it helps to have your hand there. Poor guy. We're just gonna hold him by the tail. So we'll prime his tail last. Once he's dried a bit. Oh no, and then I bent his little dagger there. So the metal is pewter, usually some type of pewter mix, which can bend. You'll hear it cracking, don't freak out, just bend very gently if you need to move it back in place. You can also use like needle nose pliers, since they have such the long bit. If you need to straighten out weapons too, then that's one way to do it. Mr. Dredge, we're gonna do your tail in a minute, dude. We're just making sure stuff's not pooling. Thick primer is the enemy. But this stuff tends to, like, as it dries, it sinks in. It's pretty good coverage there. I'm just checking in on his eyes here, because I want to make sure he's, again, that we're not losing detail. And once we'll have to definitely put a second coat on the weapon at the very least. And then his backside once he's a little more dry. So give him a minute. Crud now, how many more? We'll just sit off to the side here. Boop. Right. Luckily these guys are pretty straightforward. Around the edge there, and then so if you want to touch it as little as possible, we got another nail, all the nail tools, guys. So the best way to get stuff off of blue tack is to come underneath it and just pop it up. Ta-da! Still gonna have to touch the sides, but now I'm just popping down. Oh no! And let's go and get the lich up here. Demilich! He's backwards. Okay, so the best way to tell what's the front and the back for this guy is where that skull is. Because that's his backside. Yeah, I don't think there's another skull in there. I think it's just the one skull. So let's start from the bottom, and you're gonna have to kind of stab down. So also be aware of what's around your desk at this point in time, or if you're doing any kind of technique like this, because this paint will spatter out to a lot of places, including my computer monitor, because it's off to the side there. So just, if you've got miniatures nearby that are done, or you don't want to have spattered, just move them off to the side and just be aware of your work zone. Because I've definitely painted a few miniatures and then set them off to the side because I like looking at them, and then realizing that they have black spots on them, and I'm like, no. They're not too hard to clean up, but it sucks to have to do it. So, you know, mindful of your surroundings. There we go. And putting these guys on a miniature holder is so much nicer on the wrist. It still involves like pinching and holding something, but just if you keep it a gentle hold, you should have very little wrist fatigue. Again, everyone's different. All humans are individuals, so. And I'm just making sure that those eye sockets are not going to get too covered in. And we'll let it dry and then probably come in with a second coat. Oops, yeah, I see some spots there. Just checking in on the spots. So part of me coming in here too is I'm smoothing it out where it's kind of, where I feel like it's clumped up a bunch. But also be mindful of your paint is also trying to dry. So as you're coming in over stuff and you feel like you keep seeing white through it, it's because you're picking up wet paint and that has started to dry. So it just comes right off. So be careful with that. And set that down, and that's one coat there. And really, normally one coat's all you need, so it's how much you want to fuss with it. Alright, I'm trying to just touch the tip of the top of them here, and oh, set them down. Ideally not touching other stuff. You can already see this here is starting to dry. So where it looks damp, that's where it's still a wet paint, where you got some shine there. But that's a nice matte finish. This primer is so nice. Reaper makes good primers. Alright, Bruce. You up, buddy? Let's try and just squish him down in place there. One thing I wish this mold had was the teeth, but I understand 3D printing is incredibly finicky. But I feel like his shark teeth could have been a little more prominent. But it is what it is. It's still a good mold. Just a general thought when working with it. And I'll make this a crazy chaos shark. He can have some bright pink eyes. That'd be pretty funny. Gonna need some more primer already. See, sometimes this doesn't want to stick. Give that a good rinse real quick. Hopefully I didn't just get black paint on my face. No, I don't see any. Okay. Alright. Let's try to clog. Why are you trying to clog, man? You don't feel clogged. Well, when that happens, that's why we got this tool out. So, Reaper also sells little pen tools with little skulls on them. They're super cute. But I have these dental tools that I can just poke in there. Yeah, there's a small clog. Quick little jostle around, but remember to rinse off your needle so you don't cross-contaminate other paints by accident. Which luckily that just came right off, so woohoo. And all of Reaper's paints are non-toxic, so if it gets on your skin, it's not the end of the world. And if you lick your brushes, please don't lick your brushes. But if you do, it's non-toxic. Hey, Video Caesar. Coffee's life. Are you? Making sure. Shark. What's up with the background? Which background? This background? This is the Tree of Life. There's technically a female side. There you go. We got female, male, goddess, god. And going around, there's like fish on top and peacocks and birds and things, and we've got deer and dogs and stuff on the bottom. It's just a variation of the tree of life that I don't remember where I got it so many years ago. But yeah, it's got a hole in it though. I'm gonna patch it at some point. I gotta find some good green fabric for that. Alrighty. We're just gonna finish priming Mr. Bruce here. Because, you know, of course he's gonna get painted to look like the Jaws shark. Or just a great white shark in general. Wonderful. I might end up... Once all these guys are primed and dry brushed with the gray, we'll be stopping for the day. But that's still a little bit more time. Unknown amount of time. 30 minutes at most. Because I need to eat something and then get stuff thawing. Should this be a chaos shark? Give it some pink eyes.
Sharks are cool enough.
That's true, sharks are cool enough on their own. I think he'll be a normal shark with his shark buddies. Got right in those corners there. Some spots are hard to get at, so you kind of just gotta stab at them till you get it, or decide that you don't care if there's stuff in there. So eventually, like, this will get hit with a wash, and that should help kind of cover that up just fine. So don't get too frustrated if you can't cover those crazy nooks and crannies, because a wash will just take care of that for you. Alrighty, Mr. Bruce. Oh, no. This is a cool tree. No. I do have a tree kit and a bush kit from Frontline Games, but that's gonna involve kind of the static grass stuff. So I'm saving that for when I can clean my desk off, so I don't get that everywhere. That's gonna be a fun day, because they sold little kits at ReaperCon last year. Basically, I'm just starting to go through more ReaperCon stuff. Taking a break from my skellies. Work on these guys. Just give them a brush rinse there. Always good to do that throughout. We're gonna gently pull off Bruce. Set him off to the side there. I'll keep everything. I'm kind of putting it towards the light here. He's still a little damp in places. Flip him over. That's right, we're gonna do Reforged. Sorry guys, hang on. Because we already listened to this one. There we go. Alright, we're gonna go one half of this. What I end up doing is kind of plopping it on and then smoothing it around. This stuff can get pretty thin and still be pretty effective, so. I'm gonna eat some ramen later and go on a nice long walk. So we're still trying. Adopted the dog yesterday. Still hasn't pooped yet. Has eaten. Has had lots of water. Marked lots of places. Don't poop yet though. Still warming up to us, but he's warming up pretty quick. He's a pretty sweet dog. It's a coonhound mix, so a nice big old hound dog, but not like a basset hound. Almost part pointer, I feel like a little bit, but he's like part wolf. He's just so big. He's a sweetie though. He's like. We'll see what the vet says once we take him to get him checked out. He's a pretty sweet dog. This rope detail is pretty good too. This primer is so great. And just squish it around. Definitely feel like airbrush priming. Gonna go by a little bit faster. Yes. Yeah, last week, like for a good week and a half, it was just pain in my left wrist, oddly enough. Normally I'm right-handed, it's in my right, but like from here all the way down, and especially right here, it just would not stop. And then 2 days ago, it was gone. It's just like, oh. So I've stayed off of Conan. I've stayed off of video games in general. I'm trying to, because that's what tends to make it hurt the quickest. But then I'll be on my phone, scrolling through, and that also is putting strain on those muscles. So it's just keeping an eye on that. But feeling lots better today. Been even throwing in, even if it's only 2 minutes, just doing a quick yoga moves and wrist strength stuff. So it's been a. Because you don't notice the immediate effects of that, but over time, like, it's getting nice. So, just gotta increase that wrist strength. But so far, so good. Even today, like, it's not too bad right now. So, fingers crossed I don't restrain that. Yeah, because in the end, like, I want to paint, and I did not like having to take that break, but man, those kinds of injuries, though, like the repetitive strain injuries, for me anyways, I always end up needing to take more time off than I think I do. I'm like, oh, I'll just take a day, and then it's like, no, I needed to take the week. Now I've just been cleaning around the house and watching stuff. Watched Django Unchained last night. So good. Quentin Tarantino does some good stuff.
You ever feel like you're not gonna wake up from a dream?
Dun, dun, dun. Ooh, pieces. Sometimes my hands are like, no. I haven't tried the compression gloves. I've just got the, this one's for my right hand though. My left hand one is somewhere. But I've got wrist guards. These are really nice though, because they're cushioned in the middle here. It's very soft. So instead of, I mean, there's a bar here for structure, but it's very soft. Because over time, some of that stuff starts digging in my hand. But And these are Mueller greens. So, and I've got one for my left hand and my right hand. Pretty comfy. Those are my go-to for like if I need to remind myself what a neutral position is, and wearing those in my sleep, because sometimes I'll bend, because for some reason that feels really comfortable in the moment, and then I'm like, why did I do that? Even now I'm like, in the hand. But definitely been doing better. Yoga has helped, and some small weight stuff too. Oops, got a little space in there. Sorry guys, let me know if I'm off camera, please. Crow at me, and I'll remember to look up. Even your detriment, yeah. It's the ones that were recommended to me, if you like. Yeah, you can whisper them to me. See, I don't feel like I'm trying to remember the command to permanent links outside of stuff. Give me a second. Just a second, gotta smooth that out.
Yeah. Is it a two-way thing, or you just put yourself out there and see what comes back?
Very much a two-way thing. Okay, give me a second to permit the link here. I'm trying to remember the command here. Hey! Video Caesar 7, I think. Yeah! There you go. You got some time. And thank you, Trigo. 30 months, man. That's wonderful. Yeah, it does just keep on climbing. Hey, Ajax. What's up, buddy? You wanna come say hi? They think they do, and then they walk away. Come here. Who wants to get on camera? Oh, booty scratch. Suddenly there are more cats. 3 cats. But no one wants to come up into my lap. Nope. Come up. Nope. They know. They're like, nah, don't condone being on camera. If it doesn't get posted soon, I feel like I'd said whisper it to me too, so let me, I'm gonna Twitch here. So I can make sure my whispers are working too. I'm just checking. Jeez, checking. Cool. Alright. Oh, and if anyone wants to see the city docs, I have a link. For Galadoria Games, the City Docs collection, where you can get the Shark Attack kit. If you so choose. Oh yeah, Joanne sells these. From Cold Hands. I like Cold Hands. So I mean, I know it's a sign of circulation problem, but they're fun. Cool. Nice. Gonna keep that up. Thank you. But yes, the link I threw in there is to the City Docs, their whole little adventure environment thing. So pretty cool. You can get them painted too. If painting is not your thing and you just want something, they do offer their stuff as painted already. So, which is really cool. Though I like that. I like that option. I should paint more of their stuff and be like, hey, I'll be a painter.
What do you need?
So you said you grew up in the Menagerie Coast, right?
Alright, we got that size.
40-20.
It's starting to get a little awkward with the painting on us here, so I'm just gonna
Is that what it looks like?
hope.
Yeah.
Where's the fun in that? Yeah. I don't know, some people just painting's not their thing and they just want to get it as is. But I do love painting. I'm trying to, this is like one hobby I've kept up with like the longest outside of sewing. but my sewing machine, like, I pulled it out to make masks. That was when I pulled the muscle in my hand really hardcore. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced, like, doing something and then suddenly having an incredibly sharp pain just go through for like a second. But it's enough. It's just like, oh, makes you stop and be like, huh.
I know you feel the anger there.
And the next day it felt bruised.
Well, I've been fine.
Just like, what did I do to you, man? I just want to create. I want to be crafty. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, it's never fun. My knees are good so far. But my mom has had a knee surgery, knee replacement. And my mother-in-law, I think, too. Alright, we're gonna let this dry a little bit before I get farther into it and make sure there's no cat hair. Cat hair, man, is the enemy. Dust and dander, period, is the enemy to all mini painters. Alright, we'll just pop these guys on here. Boop.
Look that we came from. Don't be ashamed of that.
I appreciate you looking out. You're saying.
I'm gonna figure out
You know
Dredge's
things as you are.
color scheme for his clothes.
Try not to let the hate get to you in here. I'm sure we'll see each other again. Of course.
This is the Dredge, by the way. If people are like, what are you talking about? This our lovely mouse figure here. Not a mouse. Hey, welcome to the Stairseat Tribulations 213. Thank you. With the Twitch Prime. That's cool. Shake it off. Yeah, exactly. And just being like, oops. That's how I am. I'm like, wrist pain. This shouldn't be a problem. And I've had wrist pain since I was like in junior high because I got a computer when I was like in elementary school. And carpal tunnel, man, set in early. I'm at a point though where like I don't need surgery or anything. Yoga really is helping when I keep up with it, but I don't always remember to keep up with it sometimes, so I'm doing my best. Checking in on that sword position. He's got a little dagger there. Top of that. There. Okay, let him dry. And we got more shark hair. All the stuff. Yeah. Oh, it's the beast. I was playing around with the litter box. I was like, what is that? It's like tippy taps. It's a Mr. Beast the Beast. So far, the new dog has not eaten out of the litter boxes. Bonus points. Toby, bless his heart. Those litter boxes were the best, man. But we don't have that gate anymore. I gave that to my stepson because where he was moving, they also had a cat, so we knew they would need a gate, and he was already used to that one, so it wasn't too much of a problem.
Yeah, nope. Sorry. I just,
On the desk today.
yes, sorry. We'll go back to sleep.
Yeah, that, and that is what I was talking about. So these guys don't normally come with that weapon. Normally this hand is a shield hand, and the weapon hand is on the other side, but I cut his arm off. So, which actually looks pretty alright for the most part. So, we'll see how that goes. But that little short sword or dagger or whatever is from Bombshell Miniatures, another Reaper find, or not Reaper find, ReaperCon swag find that I got in a swag bag like 2 years ago, and I finally had something to use it for. I don't have that bag out here, do I? I put stuff up and then I forget where I put it. It's around here somewhere, but it also came with like space pistols and stuff, so feeling, yes, the feeling Tootsie Rolls. Cats, you do. Hi, buddy. Hi, guys. Everyone's all looking around like, where's the dog? He's away, so y'all can wander the house with no worries. Alright, last section we're priming here. I'm pretty much just waiting for parts of it to get dry enough that I can handle it. But once it's done being primed, then I don't really have a miniature holder for this kind of thing. So if you have to handle your miniatures by hand while you're painting them, wear gloves. Otherwise you'll find that the gradual kind of friction that happens over handling it and the oils from your hands and stuff, it's gonna pull all that paint up that you're working on. So if you feel like your miniature is losing paint for some reason, it could be that. And just wear gloves. Some nitrile gloves are just fine if you can find them now. I don't wear them often for mini painting because that's, oh, excuse me, why I like the holder. No hiccups, guys, no hiccups. For happy brooding people, exactly. Coffee is the best. That's what my little coffee cup says. Motivated by cats and caffeine. Pretty much, man. Pretty much. Put these little guys. Hey, thank you for the cheer. There you go. You got it. I didn't know this was trying to go on. Cheers, weird, man. Yeah, this dog was new to the home. Got him yesterday. Some guy, his previous owners passed away. Previous owner, and then next of kin tried to take care of him but didn't have the means to really give him the attention he needed, even though it was on a farm. Man, you think a farm dog would love being on it, but horses kind of freaked him out, so he ended up at the shelter and we got him. Or my stepdaughter, technically it is her dog. But I love dogs, so. I do not say no. Doesn't need that. That's so weird, because like all other commands in Twitch need this stupid exclamation point. And they're like, nope, cheers are fun.
I've seen some orcs do some terrible things. I've seen them be violent, angry, unfair.
Oops. And then also watch painting a section and then putting your hands all over it. It's just like, well, turn it over.
It's all about the other.
And just, you kind of have to, sometimes you just gotta squish it and stab at it to get a good coverage. This has taken the primer very well, though. It's the usual tight spaces that are a little hard to get to, but overall, though, this is really taking it very well. Getting a nice matte finish there. Okay. I think, unless y'all see any gray spots. I think we'll let it dry right now and then check that out in a minute. Okay. A dredge. So I'm just getting the blade, mostly a quick little touch over there. And we're gonna check in on this guy. We really don't need much of a primer there. Okay, just giving a little, like what's left on the brush, I'm just gonna do a quick pass. And how we doing, Bruce? So I'm gonna go a little bit underneath his body here. Not too much though. Yeah, he's fine. That's one pass and he's covered, so this black primer really is some great stuff.
Take care.
Yeah, we don't need to do any of these. That's great. It's always nice when it works out like that. Alright, so we're gonna move on to gray primer real quick. Be a little careful with that. So this guy's gonna be a prime example of that. So this brush is too damp right now, but I do have somewhere in here a primer dry brush. Just trying to remember where I put it. 'Cause, again, I organized my stuff. This is all my paintbrushes. So many brushes. But I try to have my designated primers so I don't have to worry about messing up my nice, pretty brushes. It's usually synthetics. We've got some mop brushes here, though. We're gonna go with the synthetic because it handles that a little better. So, but first we're also gonna shake up our gray. Yes, this is a Reaper demilich. This here though, the Shark Attack setup is Galadoria Games. Sorry, I was trying to remember. I think you were here for that part though. And then this is Games Workshop with some bombshell weapon right there. And sorry, she's shaking because I've got one side. So we got Galadoria, Reaper, and Games Workshop represented here today. Oh, the primer, yes. Yeah, both of these are Reaper primers. They have black, gray, and white. This I got from the dollar bin. That was a fun day. But yeah, their gray primer is really good too. The bottle of white primer I have that was bad. It went off and I just never replaced it. I just kept buying these guys. Oh, we got a bubble. So now we're gonna get our gray out, which I'm not doing too much. We'll see how that goes. And I am gonna just use what dampness is on the paper towel here to get it a little damp. Alright, we're gonna do our dry brush trick, but with primer. It's fun stuff. So we're gonna just do. Dab it out. Yeah, no. The moment that like Reaper opens up their retail section again in their warehouse, I'm driving straight there. The dollar bin paint is the best because I've got a lot of drying retardant now, and which is gonna be nice. I ordered one of those ceramic wells that Ann Forster uses. Ann Forster. That she recommends because I haven't been able to do glazes very well on my wet palette. She's fine though. So I'm primarily keeping this dry brush towards the top of the flames here. Even on the back, I'm just kind of coming down and across a little bit on the bones so we can see them, but primarily one direction, sweeping down.
Your heart rate begins to race,
And a little there.
knowing what
So you can see just doing that
fear wells up in your throat.
just already adds so much to it. So even if that's as far as you got and you just needed something on the table, well, it's something interesting to look at. I'm going to do a little bit of primer here, just so I can see that easier while I'm painting. But ideally we want kind of the focus to be along up here and down here where all our bones are, but that's the face, yo. Demilich. Should be fun. And that's one dry brush primer, dude. He looks so cool. I love it. Let's check in on Dredge here. He's gonna be a little tricky because he doesn't want to sit here very well, so we kind of got to be a little gentle with him. Pull it off. And if you want to test your dry brush before putting it on the mini, your miniature holder is a great way to do that. Let's see here. We're gonna have kind of a
Waters around you. A slew of emotions fill your mind. Warm,
listen.
amorphous, but comforting and evoking ideas that become words. Come with me, child. Come with me, child.
Just gonna kind of do a little dry brush. Sometimes I have a light source in mind. Sometimes I just want it to pick up the detail. Whoop, and there he goes. And that was as far as we got. It's not too bad though. A little bit of a schmutz there. Just because there's not that much paint on here too, so it'll dry a little lighter or darker. So we've got our lich there and him there and the shark fins are kind of weird because I mean they're pretty flat surface, so definitely going to be looking up lots of pictures of sharks tonight.
Without force or pain. Warm, cradling sensations as you
Can
emerge
just-
from the nightmare of Talon. Settle into a small chamber of tangled leaves.
Kind of keep it maybe a little more focused at the front. You can even, there's still a little black primer. Totally go back and come in with the black primer on top of that if you feel like that's too much, too bright in a space. Then you can tone it down. Still with the primer.
Come to you, interpreting.
I do want this side to be a little more bright than the other though, so we are gonna kind of
That fate
texture that a little bit just to,
shall find you again.
you know, remind us.
Until it does.
Oh, nice! It's always nice when that happens. Do a little bit of a touch there, a touch back here, and some of the water effects. I mean, there's sort of a water effect. So it does look like we painted it a little bit, so I'm gonna still bring in a little bit of black. Some of that black primer along the backside here just to tone it down. There you go. So I mean it's simple. Let's see, we'll keep these guys so y'all can see that difference there. Bruce, my man, my main fish. It's 18 o'clock. All right, we're gonna finish these guys up. Let's see here. We got mostly like this. Oh, that's a lot. And there's cat hair. But luckily, we can just kind of, you know. This cat hair, man, it's beast fur. enough. This guy, like, it's gonna be the stomach that's gonna be a little bit lighter. So I'm actually gonna kind of do a little bit of a circle dry brush motion here. So just going in some circles. A little bit on the nose there. And kind of come back in with the darker kind of gray mix and saturate that down a little bit more. So we still got a little gray happening, but it shouldn't be as vibrant. Yeah, just playing around with the values.
The darkness takes you for the remainder of your sleep.
There we go. So we're just gonna have like some underneath there, kind of just playing around with the light. So it looks a little messy there, but it's gonna kind of help add some texture to his blubber, I guess you could say. We'll see. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to paint. I'm excited. This week is Shark Week. Let's go, Mr. Bruce there. Just kind of keeping that loosely blocked in.
And I saw this greenery, like these vines. I gotta reach out and invite me forward.
A little bit there, because we do kind of want this side's going to be kind of the focal point a little bit, so kind of light it up a little bit, get him a little layer too. Not too bad, not too bad. Simple, 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 simple. Bones black to try out. Nice. This stuff is similar to that. Definitely say. Alrighty, and let's see here. So we got a shark. He's gonna be like popping out. And she can kind of go here or here or here. So as long as he's kind of diagonal. So we're just gonna kind of keep this a general dry brush of just, yeah, just kind of picking up the textures a little bit.
Giant fucking tree. But
So this can help if you just feel like you've lost the detail in the primer. Then just do a quick dry brush and a lighter primer, or even a lighter color. An off gray or something, just something that can help you see everything again if you feel like you need that. Try to clean that off a little bit. Oops, sorry guys, off camera. Just, you know, exclamation point crow, and I will look back and be like, oh yeah. Focus, that's the thing.
Wow.
But yeah, it's always nice when stuff comes in. Or people have stuff in stock. I know Reaper's been selling out of a lot of stuff lately. Like this demilich that I have over here, currently sold out. At least the bones version. There may be a metal version available. It could also be sold out though, because, you know.
One of the things I like to do, although it's harder to do in a place like this, is just slowly count the number of sounds you hear and listen for each and everything and start to name what it is as it goes by. And slowly you'll see her and feel her and everything that's around every plant that's growing, every animal that's hunting. While her power may wax and wane depending on where you
Love
are.
caduceus.
Always, nearly always available.
Always there, guys. The wild mother. It's always around. Alright, so It's pretty alright. Some spots are gonna get a little brighter than others. Just, yeah. Where this shark has crashed through. And this is great too if you need to practice wood and rope. This is a pretty straightforward mold here. Alright. Just gonna do a little bit. Kinda. A little more on one side than the other. Got that illusion of shadow happening. But like not as bright gray. You'd think that had a fingerprint in it, but it doesn't. It's the way it printed. A little bit in the back there. There we go. So we got that kind of towards the bottom there. On this side. Do that again on this side. Just kind of touching it up. Oop. There we go. And now we have highlighted our dudes. Let's keep it up. Dredge looks pretty sweet. Well, that's cool. He's lost his arm and he's got a sword here. A dagger. This would actually have the highlight coming from the top.
Why did we do that?
Yasha made her choice. She said so herself.
Find somewhere to hide.
Alrighty.
But in Yasha's eyes, she smiled when I said we had to get out of there.
Yes, dry brush accomplished.
Remember things.
This lich is pretty cool too.
What, that's who she
I'm
was
digging
all
it.
the time.
Alright, so now I'm gonna give these guys proper like 10-15 minutes to dry. That's really like this Reaper's Primer dries really quick, so that's more painting time. So I'm just gonna give it a good amount of time there to dry, like as I said, 10-15 minutes, sometimes 20 depending on how much primer you used and how big the model is. But let it fully dry and then you're good to paint. We're gonna stop it here though. It's about 2 hours of paint time or so, or prep time. So 2 hours to prep all these lovely little doodads here with a brief break of washing them and stuff, but that's not too bad. So tomorrow, because I'm feeling pretty good, wrist care is working. So you guys, I thought there was more hair there. You can see like, not really, so it's just checking for those mold lines that we know went along the top and around. And it actually looks pretty good. There's still a little bit of it in a few spots, but I'm just gonna let it be. This is gonna look really cool when it's painted up. So yeah, so tomorrow, so all the rest of this week is gonna be painting the demilich. It's gonna be starting dredge and working on the sharks and stuff, and we're just gonna have a silly time this week. So if you have any fun things that you just want to do, even if it's a terrain piece, we're going to be working on wood and stuff at some point. We're going to be working on fish and some kind of water effects without water effects. And yeah, this lovely lich and our lovely little clan rat here. So I'm pretty stoked. But that's throughout this week. The rest of this week, I'm gonna go find food because I need to eat. Let's see here. Who's live right now, guys? Let's find someone to host. I mean, Reaper Miniatures may be live. I know Critical Role is probably also live right now. now for Yeehaw Off Ranch. Seeing if who all's doing stuffs. Scabby Rooster's doing some sculpting. Cutthroat Cure is working on Harry Potter stuff, it looks like, and some other things. We've got some miscellaneous news. We've got a few people playing Elder Scrolls. We've got some people working on Warhammer. What we got? We're gonna go hang out with the old Scabby Rooster. The Scabby Rooster. He's a fellow mini painter where the Scabby Rooster is a tavern, and it's pretty fun stuff. Super relaxed. He does some really good work. So send him some love, and should be live tomorrow. Feeling pretty good. So yay! More miniatures to start painting too. That's always exciting. If you feel like you've been burned out, find something that sparks joy and just paint it for you. It's a great way to help curb off that burnout. At some point we're gonna finish Trinket. Non-metallic metals kind of got me in a pause, so Trinket the Bear, guys. This is another Critical Role miniature from Steamforged Games. You see the SFG underneath. This is a pretty fun one. Oh yeah, getting distracted. Let's go hang out with Scabby Rooster, and thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. Hope everyone had a good time. Nice relaxed time listening to the music. And slowly watching plastic get cut away. The various ways you can clean mold lines. And yeah, have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.